This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. The final hours of campaigning are underway as candidates vie for the Tasmanian upper house seat of Pembroke. Residents in parts of Hobart's eastern shore will go to the polls tomorrow after what's been a short but heated and contentious campaign period.
A frantic final day of campaigning as candidates fight for every last vote in tomorrow's by-election. The Liberals attempting to allay concerns about negative campaigning after this sledge about another candidate's age.
I've got a proud record as far as helping all members of the communities from all demographics.
Clarence Mayor Doug Chipman was the target and says it hasn't been received well.
I've been swamped with support and anger and absolute outrage from people all over the place, all political spectrums, at this outrageous slur on senior people.
We own material that goes out in the party's name. As leader, of course, I accept responsibility.
That'll be a really important lesson for them coming into the state election.
Political scientist Richard Eccleston says this campaign will be a litmus test for the state election due in March.
I think that all of the major political parties will be looking into the election just to see how different suburbs and different constituencies are voting.
Labor's candidate Jo Seeker has also been hitting the hustings for Pembroke, saying she's a progressive voice.
I've worked with all sides of government, I know how the process works, and I'm a person that's got a lot of integrity.
Being a part of the Labor Party who are frozen with fear on making a comment on the poker machines, I can't see how she could claim to be the progressive voice for Pembroke.
Despite previous ties to the Liberals, Mr Chipman says it's his independence that stands out.
A voice that's willing to take the issues in the community to the Parliament rather than have them filtered by party spin and the nastiness that goes with that quite often.
Polling booth details can be found on the Tasmanian Electoral Commission's website. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
A female driver involved in a crash in Glenorchy yesterday afternoon remains in a serious condition but stable. A woman is understood to have veered into oncoming traffic on the Brooker Highway just before 3 o'clock. After a head-on collision with another vehicle, both the woman and the other driver had to be rescued by emergency services. The crash caused significant traffic delays throughout Hobart. A Tasmanian grandfather has been sentenced after being caught running a large-scale cannabis operation from a shed on his Flowery Gully property. The Supreme Court heard the extensive setup had the makings of a small factory. Jessica Moran has more.
The court was unable to determine the exact profit made from the cannabis setup, but said the figure would have been significant. Defence lawyer Evan Hughes told the court the operation started out as personal use for his client's pain management, but when it became successful, it then became more. Michael Salzberger pleaded guilty to trafficking, cultivating a controlled plant for the purpose of selling and using a controlled plant. The court heard the 67-year-old armed services veteran became obsessed with its success and gradually used the profits to upgrade the setup. Police raided the property in April this year, seizing a large quantity of cannabis and equipment. The court further hearing Salzberger distributed the cannabis in £1 bags to those in his veteran friendship group. Salzberger received a 6-month wholly suspended sentence and was fined $2,500.
A Tasmanian accused of stalking Sophie Monk has been jailed for assaulting a police officer. James McCabe fronted the Launceston Supreme Court today and was sentenced to 12 months behind bars for assaulting a police officer in June last year by striking him in the head with a bat and punching him 4 times. The sentence means his suspended 8-month sentence for stalking Ms Monk is also activated. McCabe is the first person to be jailed under Tasmania's mandatory sentencing laws for assaults on police. He'll serve both sentences and will be eligible for parole in 10 months. Australia's biggest and longest-running craft fair has opened its doors today, with thousands expected to descend on the town of Deloraine. The 4-day Tasmanian craft fair boasts some of the best artists across the country, making it an art lover's dream.
It's the country's largest celebration of arts and crafts, putting Deloraine on the map.
Everything from handmade jewellery to carefully crafted art on show. It's the personal interaction with the artists which makes this event still a success 36 years later.
You're talking or buying from the people who make the goods. So it's the artist, it's the craftsperson. You can see in a lot of cases how they make it because they're demonstrating their work.
Verity Burley from Adelaide travels to Tasmania each year for the fair and says glass blowing is always a crowd favourite.
The Tasmanian audiences are really receptive. They really love the glass blowing shows. The kids really love the glass blowing shows. Because we get to make all different sorts of things, it's quite interesting.
It's the event that attracts thousands from across the state, with over 160 exhibitors. Organisers say up to 18,000 people are expected to walk through the doors over 4 days. And those who've worked hard to make the 2017 festival what it is say the more the merrier.
Come along and enjoy yourself. Look out for some fantastic presents for your loved ones for Christmas. Buy something that you really like for yourself too.
The fair injects close to $700,000 into the community and runs until Monday. Rita Risk, Southern Cross News.
Tasmania's real estate sector is on track for a record-breaking result, with a year that could see the highest value of sales ever. The Real Estate Institute says sales are up from last year by more than 20% in Launceston and 14% in the northwest. Most Hobart suburbs are at their highest median price ever. The REIT says this is due to local buyers.
It is being totally driven by locals. We do have between 20 and 25% mainland interest in our marketplace, and there's only 1% by foreign buyers.
Hobart's rental vacancy rates are at historic lows. Tasmania's new firefighters are heading to the front line after graduating from an intensive training course. The 15 recruits weren't the only ones inducted into the service, with their loved ones welcomed into the wider firefighting community.
These are Tasmania's 15 new firefighters, graduating today after an intensive training course.
The team that we had this year came from a diverse background, diverse range of backgrounds, ranging from trades backgrounds to engineering backgrounds.
Over 15 weeks, they've been tested with all sorts of scenarios to prepare them for the varied career they're about to start.
These guys and girls are ready to go for the bushfire season that's ahead of us. Plus, of course, they work in our urban fire brigades and they deliver great service to the householder or the community in all sorts of other ways.
Firefighters, quick, march!
They'll step into the line of duty with Devonport, Burnie, Launceston and Hobart brigades.
How does the uniform feel?
It feels good. It feels good to get rid of the trainee rank slides and get rid of the trainee firefighter and head off to shift as a firefighter. Yeah, it feels really good.
Any incidents that we attend, no matter how small they are, you're always helping someone, and it's always different day to day. You never know what's going to come around the corner.
But it's not just the new recruits joining the firefighting community, with families also welcomed and thanked for their support.
I guess it's all about that support network, so feeling included, especially by a lot of the instructors.
I think it's the kind of job that you can't really do without the support of your friends and family, and that's really important.
The fire service says a potential next round of recruiting would open next year. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
We may be 1 month away from summer, but it's not too late for a cold snap. Parts of the state are seeing snow down to 600 metres, including Mount Wellington. With 2 cold fronts passing over the state until tomorrow morning, temperatures are well below average in some areas.
We've seen temperatures generally 3 or 4 degrees below average, up to 5 degrees below average in some places, but the coldest spot so far in the state was 10 degrees below average. That was at Mount Reid, which recorded a top temperature of just 1 degree today.
Snow levels are set to rise tomorrow. Tasmania Police are warning recreational fishers that officers will be out in force on and off the water ahead of the rock lobster season opening for 2017. Police are urging those going out to check their boats and safety gear and to be aware of the fisheries rules and regulations. The season will kick off tomorrow for the Western region and November 18 for the east. More information can be found on the Department of Primary Industries website. A travelling house is touring the state to raise awareness about the dangers of asbestos. And 2 Australian TV personalities have joined the nationwide campaign. Today, taking to the streets of Launceston to share their stories.
It's known as the slow and silent killer, and the message surrounding asbestos today was clear.
You just don't touch asbestos in any way, shape or form, or it'll kill you.
For actor John Jarrett, it's an issue close to his heart, with one of his good friends losing his life after being exposed to the fibre.
He died of mesothelioma, and he demoed a house in 1968, and he got mesothelioma in 2012. Health fanatic. He was dead in 6 months.
He's one of many touring the country as part of National Asbestos Awareness Month. TV personality Don Burke also backing the push.
When I saw people dying terrible deaths from asbestos, whether it's asbestosis or mesothelioma, and I thought I should do something. So I've been working in that now for quite some years.
Tasmania has a really serious problem. It has asbestos contamination virtually everywhere across the state. We spent 40 years after the Second World War making cement asbestos products that went into our houses, our buildings, our schools.
Tasmanian Lawrence Appleby now lives with asbestosis after years in the cement industry. He says he's lucky to be alive.
Due to the fact that I left the industry, that's probably why I'm still alive. A lot of my work colleagues still stayed at the cement works and still working in the dust. And unfortunately, they've passed away.
Although the illness has slowed him down, he tries to remain positive.
Just still live your life and still work, still enjoy life and make the most of it. I'm still working, I'm 68 years of age.
On average each week, asbestos-related diseases claim 13 Australian lives. Rita Risk, Southern Cross News.
Now let's take a look at the day's business and finance news with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. The Australian share market has closed at its highest level since April 2015, with almost all sectors posting gains led by the heavyweight mining and energy sectors. The ASX 200 index has risen by 28.2 points. Short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 76.88 US cents and 65.92 euro cents.
Andrew Feckerty has been ruled out of the Tigers' Sheffield Shield squad to take on Queensland tomorrow after the fast bowler suffered a foot injury during training. Feckerty is only expected to miss one match, with Tom Rogers to take his place this weekend in his first-class debut. While batsman Ben McDermott has overcome a hand injury he sustained in Perth last week and will be fit to play. Meantime, the Hobart Hurricanes will have a new captain this WBBL season, with Corinne Hall officially bumped up into the role today. Hall repaying the Canes' faith by signing a new deal with the club, which will see the all-rounder in purple for the next 2 years. One of the most dangerous all-rounders in the WBBL, Hall says she didn't even flirt with the idea of going elsewhere.
There's a real sense of pride too with this group when you put on the purple jersey, and I couldn't see myself playing for any other franchise really.
As an added sweetener to the 2-year deal, Hall will take over the captaincy from Heather Knight.
Yeah, it wasn't something that I went after, but I'm very honoured, and especially, like I said, to sort of lead this playing group, it's something I'm really excited about.
One of the Canes' most consistent performers, Hall says her and the group are desperate to go one better this time around, having made semi-finals the past 2 seasons.
It'd be nice to beat the Sixers. We've got a couple opportunities to do that this year.
For the meantime, the new captain is keen to get stuck into pre-season and welcome in the club's newest international signings in England's Lauren Winfield and India's Veda Krishnamurthy.
We saw previously in the World Cup she had a really good innings against New Zealand. She sort of scored a quick 70, and hopefully she can bring that sort of aggressive style to our batting order.
Meantime, the stage is set for a big weekend of state basketball action, with 2 days of competition at the Kingborough Sports Centre to determine who'll face off in the Final 4 at the State Gala weekend on November 18 and 19.
Round 1 was exciting action. Teams played 3 games and there was lots of interesting results. What it's done is set up round 2 this weekend, where any team can still make the Final 4, which is great for basketball.
New Kingborough Tigers coach Trent Bormella has made his first appointment in the top job, with the club signing TSLW player Hannah Squires as its new strength and conditioning coach for the 2018 season. With a resume boasting years of strength and conditioning experience with the state and national academies, Lauderdale were also keen to secure Squires.
I actually went to the Tigers and said that I'd been asked previously about another job offer to be a strength and conditioning manager for another club.
So the Tigers quickly locked her in to head up their S&C program in 2018. And after playing for the club in the TSLW and having worked with new head coach Trent Bormella in the State Academy, Squires says it was a no-brainer.
I was so excited. As soon as I heard that Trent was appointed, I thought, I've worked with him before. I know he's great with the players, I think very professional.
I know what she brings. It's going to be a professionally run program. The boys are going to be fit. Their rehab will be spot on.
The other big appeal was the opportunity to help develop the up-and-coming talent on the Tigers list, including AFL draft hopefuls Lachlan Godomski and Hugh Dixon.
You've got to be strong, especially someone like Hugh. If that helps him achieve his dreams, the work that we're doing down here as well as what he gets at the State Academy, it's so important.
It's exciting to see what the base is here. They're going to, with good professional advice and expertise, I feel like they're just going to grow and develop, and hopefully from here we'll go to the big league.
Keen seafarers have a chance to lay their eyes on a piece of Tasmanian sailing history, with the 1947-built yacht Westwood temporarily docked in Hobart ahead of the annual Maria Island yacht race.
Soon after launching, it entered the Maria Island race, and it's 70 years ago today when it finished that Maria Island race and won it.
Westwood is also the only Tasmanian yacht to have won the Sydney to Hobart on handicap twice in 1947 and 1948. The 70th edition of the Maria Island race starts on November 17.
Good evening and welcome to the middle of July. Hobart, Burnie and Devonport 14 degrees today and Launceston 15. Temperatures between 3 and 10 below average. St Helens with our high 18 degrees after Liaweenie posted a -3. The cold front brought showers and localised hail. Mount Barrow had 13 millimetres to top that list. Friendly Beaches 17 degrees, Flinders Island 15, Lowhead, Wynyard Grove and Bushy Park 14 today, King Island 13 and Strawn 12. The broad frontal band is spiralling into a low over the Tasman Sea with another band right over Tasmania. There is a cold pool of air quite evident there to our west, with high-level clouds stretching over southern parts of the mainland. And there's the unstable situation with the front over the state and the cumulus cloud following. Tomorrow, a cold front crosses southern Tasmania, a high positioned over the bight with troughs of low pressure continuing over the mainland. Winds west to southwest at 15 to 25 knots, but as strong as 25 to 35 knots over southern waters, swells at 4 metres in the west and south. Gale warning from Wineglass Bay to Low Rocky Point, a strong wind warning from Cape Portland to Sandy Cape, a small craft wind alert for the lakes. Also a bushwalkers alert for the western and central plateau districts, a warning to sheep graziers for the Midlands, the east coast and the southeast. So heading into the weekend, a showery start. Hobart 14, 11 for Medina, showers for Oatlands and 12. For Launceston, a possible shower, 17 the top, 15 for Devonport. Early frost and some snow showers for Liaweenie, -3 to a top of 8. For Burnie, a shower or two and 16, 13 for Strawn, Marrawar 14 with a few showers. Possible showers in the east, St Helens 17, 16 for Swansea, Orford 15 degrees. UV though, very high over the north and northwest. On Sunday, fine apart from showers over the southwest and Furneaux Islands, the chance of a morning frost. Fine on Monday apart from a shower over the west and far south, extending to southern and central areas in the afternoon. Cloudy day on Tuesday with a shower over the west and south. A sunny 30 in Perth, fine for Adelaide, Canberra, Brisbane and Alice Springs. A morning shower forecast for Sydney with 19 degrees and also for Melbourne on 16. Showery in Hobart, 8 degrees at the moment, 12 in Launceston, 11 right now in Devonport with wet weather around. So you want a tip, Joe? Let's go to Tuesday's Melbourne Cup. Marmello with Hugh Bowman on board will win the Cup. And if it doesn't, you can ask me for your money back. Well, you can ask.
I can always ask. Thank you very much, Merv. Good tip. Well, that's all from the team for now. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.